Hook him over the gate.
Throw it out to one side, throw the whole thing, throw it. Go pick it up for me. Throw it away from you. I want you to run over, pick it up for me. Call him into you and jiggle it away. Give it a squeak and jiggle it. Jiggle it, call him. Good, super, jiggle it. Good, come on, keep it jiggling, jiggle it away from him. Yeah, that's it, come on, really jiggle it, Mum. Good, super, sway, side by side. Good, sway. Really work the tuggy with him. Come on, jiggle it away from him. Don't offer it to him, jiggle it away from him. Good, super, come on. Right, look at me. Look. As soon as you go to him, his ears go back and he goes, I can't do this. So we've got to try to work now to get him doing what he just did a second ago, whereas he chases you. So the chase needs to be out and away, flickle, and jiggle away from you. As soon as you do this and say, come on, his whole body language changes. So just hold on to his legs. So what I'm going to try to suggest is see if we can't get him to chase a smaller toy to begin with, and then attach it to a longer extension, and see if we can't get him chasing around it a little bit more. So, but with no behaviours whatsoever involved. Does that make sense? And then, you know, when you see it's not fun, I'm not doing this, but if he starts to get stressed and worried, then he picks up on all the behaviours.
I know.
So we've got to focus again just on the fun to begin with, and then work backwards from there. Let's have a look.
So what's happening?
So he's just getting, Mum said to me he tends to disengage during training. So you can see when he was playing to start with, no problem whatsoever, I'll do that until I'm blue in the face. We asked for a couple of simple behaviours and then his whole body language changed. You know, I was talking earlier about this. That's what Mum then accidentally did. There's no problem, Mum isn't doing anything terrible whatsoever. But as soon as Mum went like this, he went, oh no, God, I can't do this now, I've got to go off over to one side. So what I'm trying to do now is to try to create voluntary focus so that we're focusing on the reward that he's getting rather than the behaviours that we want him to do. And then again, we'd start to work into the behaviours afterwards. But now it's just seeing what we can
So
get
if
moving
going
with.
in, is that sort of maybe taking the toy away? Is that what he's getting worried about?
No, it's because it's just it's resilience for in his mind something isn't quite right, and then he's feeling inadvertent pressure, which is nothing Mum is doing wrong whatsoever. Mum isn't being horrible or doing anything intentional, but her body language is making him uncomfortable, like we just said about. So as you turn to face, he went, I can't possibly do that, and this is why I put so much focus on you moving away and the dog going, I want to do that, because then we've got permission for them to go ahead. Once we've got that, we know what they find reinforcing, we can stop them, because he plays with you until he's blue in the face at home. He's offering the toy all of the time, so there isn't no problem with the play necessarily.
So if it's standing up and encouraging them to
It's
come
the
in.
instigation for, do you want to do this, what have I got here, rather than, oh, I need you to do this because this is the reward. So take on the leg for me, give it a little bit of a squeak and just throw it away. Let go of his leg for me. Let go of his leg, throw it away, go on, throw it away. Right, so you see there, when you picked it up and jiggled it towards him, that's where he goes, no, listen to me, listen.
Oh, does it?
So it needs to be more.
Yeah, well I
Out
took
of the way
over
the
from
toy
Sally
goes.
and
If he
Steve.
throws his what about this
Reef.
ball then? So let's just play
Sally
fetch
Porter.
with the ball.
Worried he wasn't going to switch
I
off.
used to
No.
be a trainer for them, and then they've retired, so I'm in France now,
Just
and
throw
I've
it.
taken over
Throw the whole ball, throw the whole ball, throw it.
from them.
Run
So
over
I've
and grab
got
it, Mum, go on, run over and grab it.
Hotfield, Saltwood, and then one on a Saturday. So yeah, God, yeah.
Throw the whole thing. Right, we're going to have to get him moving. It's okay, just give him a second, don't
Yeah. How and Lindsay, you can't be tired yet.
No. I was worried he wasn't going to switch off, but he's not going to switch on.
Bless it.
throw it again. Go on, throw it for him, throw it for him, throw it for him, throw it for him, throw it for him. Good, super. Call him back into you. Good, catch it. Good, super. Slow down, ask him to let go. Ask him to let go. And throw it for him.
Way.
Good, call him back into you.
Good boy. Come on, Reefy.
Good, when he comes back to you, give him a sweetie.
Oh.
Give him a sweetie for letting go. Now throw the toy again, sling it. Good, call him back into you. Good, super. Ask him to let go for me. Good, pinch it, ask him to let go again. Ask him to let go and throw it again. And throw it, sling it. Good, call him back into you. Good, super. Call him back in, start a little bit more of a tuggy.
Sorry, I've been nice and frequent. That's about the phone. Okay, how do I get
Good, super. Slow down. Ask him to let go for me. Ask him to sit. Take a couple of steps away from him in this direction. Ask him to sit and wait. Good. Look at me. So now, as you move away, toy out to one side, call him, and as you call him, throw it into the distance that he chases after it. Look at me though. Throw it.
Sorry, right, okay.
So you see, for me, he's super environmentally sensitive as well. So when I took
Oh no, I'll get on to that one. Cheers,
so
thanks.
if you ask him to sit, this, take a step away, ready, steady, let go and throw the toy into the distance so that he starts to chase away from you. For me, that would be how you instigate the game, because you get a good cue into how he's feeling then. Take his lead off from me and I just want you to play fetch with him again.
Not with the loud.
The other thing that I would consider doing, just depending on how he goes now, is using that will give you another way to gain
Right,
focus when
yeah,
you're
so
struggling
I've
with
got
it.
one.
It's something we could use, but all I want to do now is just see if we can't get him to sit, just facing that direction. Take a little bit of a creep away for me.
6, 3.
Hold the toy so we can see it. Call him and just wait for a sec. Throw.
Go! Go on then, get it!
No, don't worry, it's okay, it's okay. We need consistency, that's one thing. I don't want to give you something to do that's not going to work.
Oh, folks, I'll go and keep it.
No, he feels, but you need to listen to him and not,
Yeah,
because if we just keep on pushing ahead with this,
yeah.
you're going to stay stuck in that cycle of, I can't get. He's really sensitive to change of any type, so you've got to make sure that the
So I use that at home. He's not sliced a bit interested, whereas my other dog will tear it to bits to try and get the treat.
I think it's
It's a question of getting used to it, isn't it,
I think
really?
it's a good bridge because I'm not going to get you to do something that's unrealistic because there's no point in doing that. You need to do something whereas you can keep him moving with you. Keep him moving with you comfortably during training. see the change in his behaviour? So it's you've got to get him into a place where this just becomes fun now. So that it's like, oh, I've got the food. Yay, good boy, super! So that the work becomes a reward for him. But you're not doing anything wrong, but he's got in his head, something's gone wrong somewhere, and he starts to question what we're asking him for. I don't need him, and I don't need you to dance around like I am, but what I want to do is, good boy, super, is I want to get the movement into your protocol, so that when you start off the game with him, because he's going to bite and tug you with this, and we could transfer over to a tug and chaser, no problem. But you know, like I did with the second doggy, I just work around creating a game with him, so that we don't. Because it's not nice. It's not nice for you. It's not nice for him, because he feels uncomfortable with what's going on. So if we just work on moulding, good boy, work on moulding these games, these behaviours into this game. And then you can start to transfer it over and train. In the worst case scenario, you just stick using this during training. But you're going to get a productive result with it, because you can see how much you've changed in 2.5 minutes of changing the reinforcer for him. I always like to see what you're doing to see if I can alter it, but for me, in my opinion, I think we should just change and keep him going. Does that make sense? Okay,
Wow, that was really good. Let's see if we can do it now.
right, so if you put this on for me, not just not. And to start with, all this is a follow. So you show him the food, like lift it up, move with him a little bit, off, and then throw it out into a distance. He will come to your hand to try to make sure that you go like that if you throw it, so that he leaves you and goes to the item. Does that make sense? Yeah. Let's get straight back over there and do that for me. With him, move with him, just move with him so he's following you. Follow, change direction a little bit, change direction back towards me and throw it. Yeah, super. So when you move, now look. And throw, so it stays nice and fluid. Let's go again. Yay! So move your legs as you're walking with him. Walk, change direction and throw, swing it. Yeah, super. Good. So on this one, just walk off to one side, touch, and then throw the ball in for me. Walk with him. Throw. Good boy. Lift it up and move away a little bit. Move, touch.
Leaving with me. Stay there with mine. When he wasn't expecting. He didn't just do it.
Good boy, super. So that you can start to do it more stationary, but your arms do the thing for it. A little bit more for me, let's go. And throw. Change direction a little bit. And throw.
Well done, Reef.
Good, so one more, touch and throw. far good. Yes, we have. On this one, just go touch, move and throw. Yes. Yeah, super boy. Does that make sense?
What makes it
Yeah.
No, I always want to Come on everyone, round of applause. Okay, so I asked Mum about halfway through if we could do a slightly longer session with him rather than 2 sessions like everybody else would do because of the behaviour really. So you can see that he switched off quite profusely and for me was really quite stressed halfway in. So I always try to stick with a version of what you guys are doing already if possible because I don't want to have to change everything for you because it can become a little confusing. So with most of the dogs today we've put an extension on the toy they already use really and then changed the tugging technique. That's what we've done. But for him, for me, there's too much in the presentation of body language which were causing stress and he got really quite stressed at one point. So we changed the game and very quickly his behaviour changed. Within under a minute his behaviour changed and all of a sudden the behaviours that he knows and likes, which he does I'm sure, have become fun again for him. The movement again is important for me because as we started to move into the game with him he was following, his body language was loose, he was offering the target for a long period with lots of tenacity and then at the end, which is exactly what we'd want, is he went over and picked the ballie up and come back to you. That would suit really well for a reinforcement structure that you'd use during training with him. If you wanted to just stick with that, you definitely could do, or we could go over to using the tuggy extension with him. If he was mine, for the next month, I would just play with that because he's made such wonderful progress in such a short period of time that it seems to be something that he's interested in. And the food is there as a backstop really to help you engage his focus if he's struggling, because if he doesn't want the ballie and we're offering him the ballie, what we then stand a chance of doing, which I think is happening a little bit, of him going, oh I don't understand, oh what do you want me to do now, oh I'm going to go and sniff instead. And it's really good because you're recognising when he was stressed, but that's when somebody asked me earlier, what do you do, did you ask, what do you do when you disengage? I'm not going to say do like I did with your dog and say, come on, let's go, we can do this again, because it would stress him out even more. So that was when a technique change was necessary. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that make sense for everybody? Super, that was a really good one, good. Okay, round 2 guys.